So I am now joined by Jaqueline Pilton, and we're going to have a little chat about how we know each other and the things that we've done theatre-wise, and maybe a few other things will creep in as well. So, Jackie, welcome to the Studio Theatre Festival. What brings us together, and how do we know each other?
Oh, well, thanks for inviting me to this chat for the Theatre Festival. Lovely. Well, you and I, Louise, have known each other quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been bits of gaps in our knowledge of each other. I first met you when you were 16, I think. Is that right?
16, yeah.
16. When I used to teach at Holton College, teach drama, I think you were doing GCSE drama. And we did loads of improvised productions and things, I think, for the exam, did we?
Yeah, because at first I was doing A-levels and I did like A-level theatre studies like in a year, which didn't go down very well. And then
pretty academic and
and then I think we realised during that it was more the practical side of it that I was interested in. So then I retook GCSE and got a better grade with you. And so I think a lot of the improvisation stuff was during that GCSE period. So it was actually 2 years that I was with you, but for 2 different type of exams.
Yeah.
Working backwards, strangely.
Yeah. And and it was enjoyable teaching you, but I didn't think, wow, this is a wonderful potential actress. But I did later. But at the time, you were hiding your light under a bushel.
Yes, not known for my subtlety now.
And then, do you want to carry on, or shall I?
Well, I mean, at the end of that kind of period, we performed together for the first time, really, didn't we? And that's when things sort of changed. So you were my tutor, and I always say in more than just theatre studies, because what do I always say, Jackie? You taught me how to swear.
Oh yes, that's right. I forget.
That was essential. A-star student.
I well forget that. Or worse.
And I thank you for that. It's been useful.
Teach Louise how to swear.
But after that, you went off to become a professional actor. But you were also running Concrete Theatre at the time, weren't you?
Yeah, it was 1990, I think. I first gave up teaching.
Right.
I had a year off college, then I came back for a bit, and then I gave up completely in 1993 in teaching at the college to be a full-time actor. Not that any actor ever is full-time, but, full-time. And I'd kind of resurrected the old Concrete Theatre, which I'd run back in the 70s and early 80s. And I started it up again with some new people in it. And we did a production of Day in the Death of Joe Egg. Mm-hmm. Now, which, as people will know, involves a child, a young person, probably of about 12, who has a physical and mental handicap, probably has cerebral palsy and all sorts of different things, and has fits and everything. And she's a central part of the story, and she sits in her wheelchair and has the fits occasionally, and that's pretty much all she does. And we'd had somebody else playing the part for a while, and then the other person couldn't do it, and we toured with it, went here, there and everywhere, went to the Green Room in Manchester with it and so on. But anyway, I needed somebody else to do the girl, Jo. And I asked Louise in. Well, we had the rehearsal. And I was gobsmacked. You did a dog barking.
I know, sorry, my dog has decided to bark now, just at this moment.
Well, I was gobsmacked because what a performance. I thought, I didn't know Louise was as brilliant as that. Mm-hmm. I thought she's been watching, videos of people having epileptic fits or something. She was wonderful. Fantastic piece of physical theatre.
So thank you for giving me the opportunity. And it was interesting. Yeah, and I think that was a good moment, because it is opportunities like that actually, if that hadn't have happened, if you hadn't have asked me to do that and do the show with you, then potentially I wouldn't have gone into acting. I think, you know, it's kind of one of those moments, isn't it, that someone asks you to do something and then you start thinking about it in a different way. I could have easily have just gone, oh well, that's that, I've done A levels, I've done GCSE again, I'll just go and do a job or whatever. But I think that was probably, without realizing it at the time, you know, an important kind of moment.
Yeah. And then you went on to drama school, didn't you? Not long after that.
Yeah. So I had
drama school.
No. I had a year out then and did more theatre in the community and with minimum wage. Who some of the members of minimum wage were in Concrete Theatre, or in that show anyway.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And then I did some stuff with them for about a year. And during that year, then I got into National Youth Theatre and got into the Arden School of Theatre. So there was like a year. So I had a year, you had a year out, and then while I was going to drama school and all that kind of thing, you were out there acting as a professional actor for the first time, really, weren't you?
Yes, that's right. I had oh gosh, can't remember what the play was called now. I was in a touring company anyway. Oh, I know what it was. It was Gaslight.
Oh yeah.
Gaslighting, in fact. Words really passed into the
I know
now. And I was playing plump but amiable Elizabeth. It was made of whatever he was called, I can't remember. It was a nasty gaslighting man. And we went on tour all over the country with that. And this was in my year off, my sabbatical year. They kindly at college let me have a year off with no pay, but somehow I managed that. And I got a little bit of pay from this touring company, not a lot. And we did that. And it was amazing, because I was thinking, wow, I'm acting. I'm not teaching, I'm acting. And I did that for quite a while, and then did one or two other things. And joined up with Mary Laurie, who you know, of course.
Yeah.
Who was an actress, visual artist, generally very artistic, wonderful person. She and I together developed and then produced and performed a play called Wide Nose. I think that was during that period, which was about the history of Widnes, really. And it was a two-hander play. We played all the characters and everything, and we toured it round mostly to people in residential homes, old people and so forth, but in the public performances too. We got some funding for that from the Arts Association in Halton, as was the name of which can't remember now. Halton Arts or something.
Yeah. Before the kind of arts development came, it was early on.
Yeah. We did that, and I got this year off, and then I knew I had to either go back and pay back the money I borrowed to have a year off on nothing, or not, or you know, or starve or something. So I went back for about 3 months, but things turned out that I could just about afford to give up the teaching and chance it. So I gave up the teaching and moved to London. I'm coming back to you in a minute, Louise, because you fit in a minute.
That's all right.
Oh, you want to tell me what you were doing at that point?
I mean, no, I was just at drama school and all that kind of thing, really, for the next 3 years. So that was kind of me head down, focusing on that, living at home, commuting to Manchester every day, and being obsessed about drama school. So I did not much else happened for me, because I was obsessed with that. So
but you were learning a lot and meeting some good people, weren't you? And
it was amazing. Yeah,
developing your skills. And
definitely.
Yeah, and I went off to London, did a tour of. She Stoops to Conquer, playing Mrs. Hardcastle. Rather posh, but very northern. She was. Thought she was a lovely, wore a very big hat. Yes, and we did that outdoors in front of stately homes. In good weather, apart from once when it pissed down and I got absolutely drenched. The audience were all right under umbrellas. I did that, and then I met a lady called Penny Black, and I was in. She translated plays from German. She lived in Austria and translated German Austrian plays into English. Can you still hear me? Because I'm getting a strange.
Yeah, it's just breaking up a little bit, but it's coming through. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I was in one of her plays called Slaughtering the Pig, which was kind of a metaphor for the rise of the Nazis. It was about a family who was horrible, really. Then she said to me one night at the end of the run that, I've got a wonderful play that I've translated, and it's about a woman who was a follower of Hitler. You know, these women you see on the newsreels throwing flowers at him and all this sort of thing, and adoring him. And it's about her telling her story. I said, oh. She said, yes, you could play that. So to cut a long story short, to Edinburgh Festival. Oh, great. Then 2 years after that, we were going to do it in London, do it with a sister play, a play which had been a short novel, but Penny had translated it into theatre, and it was called The Galician Jewess. And it was obviously appropriate to go with the play I was doing, because it was about a young Jewish woman, obviously escaping the Nazis in Poland. A lot of physicality needed and a lot of really good acting. Who can we ask, said Penny. Oh, Louise McNulty, said I. Who else? Brilliant physical theatre. So, I don't know whether I called you or I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you
what
did.
Was your reply, Louise?
My reply was, oh, I've just had a baby. I'm not sure it's appropriate.
22 years later.
22 years later, yeah. So I'm not sure it would have gone down well with him if I'd have gone to Edinburgh, but strangely enough, that's where he ended up.
Well, it wasn't Edinburgh.
At the time, no, it was after London, wasn't it? Yeah. But strangely enough, two places he likes are Edinburgh and London, so maybe there was something connected there anyway.
We sort of bypassed each other like ships in the...
Yeah.
We kept doing that.
And then you...
Right, go on, your turn next.
You at an audition met two of my best friends from drama school.
Yes, that's right.
Dawn and Julie, who were taking part in the...
I can't remember the other one.
Julie, yeah. So they're both taking part in this theatre festival as well, because they took part in it last year. And Dawn and Julie, when we went to Edinburgh, when we finished our degree at drama school, we did a show at the studio to launch our kind of production we were taking to Edinburgh. So there's like loads of links there. So yeah, you were at an audition, and Dawn and Julie were there, and I think somehow the conversation started about witness.
I remember. That's right. And she said, oh, I know Louise. And I said, I know Louise. And so it went on, yeah.
All roads lead to witness. See?
Absolutely, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And we always say, don't we, you came to Witness in 1973 and I was born in 1973 in Witness. So there's some sort of, I don't believe in fate really, but there's something going on there.
Yeah, well, I always used to say to people, because I come from Blackpool originally, and they say, oh no, I never want to live in Blackpool again. I love Widnes. And people used to say, what? I said, it's got the loveliest people you can imagine. Everybody's lovely and friendly, and I love Widnes people. So there you go.
Well, that's it, and you're still connected to.
So I'm a bit of an adopted Widnesian, really. Yeah.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So then, obviously, I did carry on acting after having Finn, but perhaps choosing different things because I'd been on tour and things like that. I've done a lot of schools tours and a bit of telly and a bit of filming, but so carried on. And you then, what happened with you? What were you doing after you did the Mein Führer again?
Yeah, what did I do next? Can't remember.
So
I think actually that Stoops to Conquer came after Fiora. I think it was the wrong way around. I remember
Right.
the wrong way around. And then eventually I gravitated back up north. I was teaching a bit in an FE college part-time. Just make ends meet. And I did a little bit of telly. Did a couple of appearances on telly. Thing called The Cops and a thing called City Central that people might remember if they go back that far. And then I gravitated back north because I was missing the north, really. And I thought I knew people who were based in Manchester actually were getting more work than I was in London because somehow casting directors were looking north, and which kind of makes sense. So I gravitated back north, lived in Yorkshire for 7 years in Hebden Bridge, and started doing quite a bit of television. Got a really good agent called Debbie Pine then. And I did quite a lot of Heartbeats, a lot of The Royal, played Dr. Shipman's wife in a TV film about Dr. Shipman.
Nice.
Quite a few things like that, but not really much theatre, and I was missing theatre. Then after 7 years there, after my mother died, in fact, I came back to Yorkshire. Finished up living where I live, which is just outside Northwich, and I was doing bits of supply teaching and things in between to get a bit of cash, in between the acting jobs, still doing bits of telly, not very often, but wanting to do theatre again. Anyway, somebody suggested to me, why don't you go and do some teaching or facilitating or whatever at the Brindley? Now, I didn't know about the Brindley. It just opened about a year before, I think.
Yeah, so I think it
I
opened
went
like
and had a look.
2004 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Met up with Sue, who I hadn't known, decades before. Find venues and productions and funding for that. I'm getting
that's Sue Davis just broke up a little bit there. So it was Sue Davis you met up with, are you saying?
Yeah, I met up with again.
Yeah, so she was arts manager and over the Brindley, wasn't she, at that time?
That's
so
right.
but you knew her before from, because she was in libraries at first, wasn't she, I think?
And she supported Concrete to doing children's back in the 70s. She gave some little facilitating jobs to do with children, with elderly people. She didn't. She introduced me to Claire Bigley.
Well, that's right.
Head of drama.
And I was working for Claire at the time, running two of the youth theatres, I think, at the time, one in Upton and one that was at the Queen's Hall, and had transferred to the Brindley. So I'd overseen the consultation that when the parents and the young people decided that they wanted the youth theatre at the Brindley rather than the Queen's Hall or somewhere else in Widnes when the Queen's Hall was shut. So I'd already started working at the Brindley doing the youth theatre. So this was just like, you know, two sessions a week or whatever it was. It's a little part-time freelance contract. So I was still acting at the same time, and I think I was also working at HITS, which is a charity doing a heritage project. But Claire, when you got in touch with her, Claire got in touch with me saying, do you know about who's his person? Have you heard of her? Do you think that she'd be good? And I was like, yes, get her in for the junior youth theatre. So it was like a strange kind of coming back round.
So that was again.
I was like helping you get a job, sort of thing, for a change.
Yeah.
And then obviously we met up, didn't we? And we're facilitating the youth theatre, and as you say, older people's groups as well, like what's the over 50s?
Oh yeah, what was it called? Years Ahead.
Years Ahead, yeah. So we did stuff like that and some other projects. But then obviously the Brindley had things like literature festivals going on and stuff like that. So we started to get involved in them together, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And we spoke together about, should we do some two-handed shows together, or even form a little, not so much a company, but an alliance where we would work on two-hand performances. And I think we more or less were a bit nervous about whether it would work, but we decided on the first one, and we did it for the literature festival at the Brindley, and that was Novel Lives, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Say again. Novel Lives, yeah.
Novel Lives.
Yeah. Novel Lives. So that was like extracts from novels that people might know, like
drama
from film, really. Probably a lot of people would have known more of them. So it was more about bringing the actual text alive through the characters. So we did Brighton Rock and Orange is Not the Only Fruit, but Scandal in Bohemia, the Arthur Conan Doyle, and I think there was a couple of others in there. Oh, the Witches. Did we do the Witches?
We did, from Roald Dahl.
Yeah, and maybe there was another one, but I can't think of the other one. I feel like there was 5. I don't feel like we would have done 4.
No,
4 doesn't seem right.
Probably 5.
Yeah.
You brilliantly translated the novel ones into theatrical form, didn't you?
Yeah.
You adapted them.
Yeah, just pulled the dialogue out a little bit more into a scene, and we did that.
The Witches
around the Brindley. Yeah.
We did it all around the Brindley and and up and down the stairs and about, didn't we?
Oh yeah, in the gallery and outside and all that. Yeah, and I think that probably cemented it, really, didn't it, for us? Like
I think, because I think after the first performance of that, we both looked at each other and said, "Yeah, we can work together. It seems to work." Yeah. And I think we knew we would do more after that, didn't we? Yeah,
and I know we had many a discussion about whether it was a theatre company, and I was very anti having a theatre company because I felt that a lot of theatre companies are created to create the work for the actors, and then what happens is the actors become the administrator of the company and employ other actors, which seems ridiculous when you're trying to get work. And we both had a kind of, at the time I didn't have an agent, and hadn't had an agent, which I thought was outrageous, and partly to blame from my kind of I'll do it myself attitude, which was encouraged at drama school, and I did work, and that's fine, but still I'd come to a point where I needed an agent. So, and you wanted to do more theatre, I wanted to do more theatre, and to have opportunities to be seen. So we kind of worked on doing productions that we would enjoy, that would have an audience, that would potentially have funding attached, because we all both agree that we should earn money while doing it. It isn't just about doing it because it's nice and it's fun, that actually we should be earning from it, and if that means raising it ourselves, that's fine. also stuff that developed us as performers, you know, and helped our career along. So it was very much more about us as individuals rather than a movement of a theatre company, I would say.
Yeah.
So can you remember what we did next then? After
Lives? Yeah, we did do Shakespeare Street.
I don't know whether that was directly after. I'm not sure. I think we did the first play maybe before that.
A play?
Yeah, I think we might have gone on to do our first production. I don't know. I can't quite remember the order of things. It's all a bit of a big blur, really. A nice one, a nice blur. But yeah, so Shakespeare Street was something we did as facilitators, really, wasn't it? Which was like local community members.
Oh yeah, that isn't what I didn't mean Shakespeare Street, was it?
Well,
when we did extracts from bits of Shakespeare in Widnes.
Yeah, that was Shakespeare Street, I think. But I don't know. I think that might have been the year after for the literary festival, the year after. So I think there might have been something in between. Yeah. I don't know whether we just did development in between, because we were just trying to work out what we were going to do, and then we applied for funding, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
To the Arts Council.
Yeah, because we wanted to do this play by Sarah Kane, didn't we?
Yeah.
Called 448 Psychosis.
Yeah.
Which is basically about, well, it's a play with no characters as it's written, isn't it?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Beautiful poem, really.
Yeah.
It's all, in some ways, it's almost incomprehensible when you first read it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was amazed by this script. And people can do it either as one person, two people, five people. It's been done many ways.
Mm-hmm.
As a musical, all sorts of things can be done with it. But we were considering doing it as two of us, probably one as a psychiatrist, the other as the patient, because it's about this psychological breakdown of this woman and her desire to commit suicide, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, we also decided, before we went for the funding, that we really wanted our lovely friend, Mark Chatterton, to direct it for us.
Yeah.
Now, Mark is a wonderful actor. He's a brilliant director. Mm-hmm. He's been on Coronation Street as 6 different characters. And I think he might even be on there at the moment. I'm not sure.
That
was part of the funding bid. Yeah, we want Mark as well,
because we knew Mark separately. I'd been in a class of his. He taught a Shakespeare module when I was at drama school, so I knew him from that, and I'd seen him act. So I didn't know him very well and hadn't seen him before. By that point, it must have been about 10 years, if not more. And you'd met him at a workshop, I think.
Yeah, an Actors Centre workshop where he was doing something on one of the restoration comedies.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So we'd met him separately, and then when we were talking about who we'd want to employ as a director, then we both kind of thought, yeah, Mark. And even though Mark really is known for his comedy, isn't he, more than perhaps his kind of more psychological, emotional shows that he's done, because he does the Everyman Panto, him and his wife.
I don't think he'd done anything as exciting as this before. Huh?
Yeah, no.
He usually does the pantomime and comedy and all that, and his own plays are comic plays that he writes, and he'd not done anything as deep and dark and somber as this before. No. Anyway, he was happy to have a go.
Yes.
And we applied to the Arts Council for funding.
Yeah.
And hallelujah, we got it, didn't we?
No, amazing, actually. Yeah. I think it's the only Arts Council funding I've ever been successful getting. But that's all right. It was useful at the time.
It has always been and ever will be very difficult to get hold of, unless you tick all their little boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that particular time, we ticked their boxes.
We did, yeah, and it was only a small grant, but it allowed us to develop it, to pay Mark, to make sure that we could afford to do it, and we had the support of the Brindley and the Arts Development team, Claire Bigley and Sue Davis, who were allowing us to host it there. So we rehearsed there, and we performed it there, and then eventually we took it on tour, didn't we? Sort of a mini tour here and there. And got paid to do it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wonderful. We did it at the Arts Festival at the Brewery Theatre, didn't we?
International Women's Arts Festival.
No, Women's Arts Festival.
Yeah. That was amazing, because we got accommodation and paid and everything, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
In the Kendall. Oh yeah, that's proper.
It was during that performance there that for a split second, it's not often I do this, everybody who's listening to this, for a split second, I stopped acting because I was looking at you and I thought, flip me. I thought, my God, she's brilliant. She's completely in that character. You were just about to kill yourself, dear. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was quite harrowing.
It ended.
It was very harrowing, wasn't it?
So good.
I remember
you were so good.
Oh, you were. I loved it actually, and I loved the version that we did of it, making it more accessible, because that's obviously a big thing that I care about is people.
Yeah, we didn't change the text. We just made it.
Yeah, people could recognise characters in it, and they could see what the journey was and all that, and it was much more accessible version than is often done. What was I going to say about it? Oh yeah, but when we were rehearsing, I remember the staff at the Brindley were like, terrified of what we were going to come out the rehearsal room, like they thought we were going to be miserable, didn't they? And we always come out like laughing our heads off, didn't we?
We had such a happy rehearsal time. You, me and Mark were laughing all the time.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it was such a miserable play.
Oh yeah. But it's fantastic, and we chose right with him. He was, you could trust him. You could be vulnerable with him and safe, and know that he cared about the play. He cared about the extra sort of stuff of sorting the music. And Greg Oldfield, obviously, I say that because he's in the other room. He did some of the music for us for it, and it was very atmospheric. And Mark Chatterton cared about it through and through. So much so that we then wanted to work with him again, didn't we?
We did, but you were brilliant in that. I was just what's the word? Periphery, as the psychiatrist, being there listening to. But God, you were brilliant, Louise.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Taught me everything,
Anyway, as you say, well, I think you've gone a bit further than that as well on your own. Anyway, what do we want to do next?
I think we
things didn't we? Yeah.
I think we did like some of the sort of creative projects in the films and stuff like that we were doing for the arts development team, in and amongst it, and like other jobs that we were working on, and obviously other here and there acting jobs and whatever. But we reapplied to the Arts Council for further funding to then do Comedy of Errors, a two-hander. But they said that wasn't a continuation of our work.
No, this is one of their things, we wanted to do something completely different.
Yeah.
And I had this mad idea that I'd had for years, that two people could play Comedy of Errors, which has 16 characters, including 2 sets of twins.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know. And for it to be played by 2 women as well was a bit blooming crazy. But I just was obsessed by this idea. So we wanted, and we had a chat about it. You were happy, you were very keen on it too. We wanted to do it. We knew Mark would be able, he would be. And we applied, and the Arts Council didn't want us because it wasn't a continuation of misery for women.
No, yeah. Oh. And instead of changing our plans, we went, okay, then we're doing it anyway, didn't we?
But we did get some funding from local sources.
Yes, yeah.
local arts.
Yeah, I mean, it was arts development team. We don't have an arts development team anymore, so that sort of thing can't happen. But we were very lucky with Claire and with the other officers as well. We worked really closely with them.
And with Sue Davis,
And with Sue Davis, and they absolutely championed us as professionals working or living in the borough. And, you know, I, for one, thoroughly miss the arts development team. And I think the borough probably doesn't know what it's missing if they hadn't known it before.
No.
But it's certainly from a personal development and actually as an employing opportunity, that's what the development team did, and actually brought in a load of funding, millions of pounds worth of funding every year to the borough to provide free or affordable arts for people. And that's gone, and that's kind of where the studios picked up a little bit on a smaller scale. And so I'm glad, you know, that's part of why I'm in the job that I'm in, is from the opportunities that I was given from the arts development team. So there's a definite link to my career, whether it be acting or coordination and artistic you know, endeavours. But anyway, so we got the money.
They gave us facilities for rehearsal, for publicity, for blah blah blah, for being able to pay Mark, being able to have fees for performers and blah blah blah, and all the rest of it. And so they were developing a professional company in effect.
Well, that's it.
Great.
We were at one point, I think for the first show, we were Halton actors in residence, weren't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've forgotten that.
Yeah, I had until just I like that
we
poster
were
as well. That's
all
good
actors
poster.
in residence at the Brindley, supported by them as a developing theatre company.
Yeah,
something that, as you say, doesn't.
No, that's right, and which is a shame. But we'll champion the arts anyway. So there's still some of us.
Yeah, of course, we're all doing that always. Yeah.
But so comedy there is very different, and it was very much a comedy. And you know, some people still talk to me about it now, and I have massively fond memories of working on that show with you. I think it was for me personally, it was a real breakthrough show. Because I, as you will know from teaching me when I was a very obsessed kind of 16-year-old focused.
I don't remember that bit, but I'll believe you.
Well, I was even worse at drama school. Apparently, to terrify the tutors because I was so like I don't know, very serious about it. I guess, which is can't remember it myself, but I was always very hard on myself. So if I always had to like be word perfect, which you should be, and that's what rehearsals are for. But like to the point of really, if something went wrong in a production, even if it was one I was directing or acting or whatever, I'd be really like, this didn't, I was really angry. I used to get really kind of cross about it because I couldn't do anything about it. It'd gone, the moment had gone, all that kind of thing, and took it on myself as my problem. I needed to solve it. But in that production, because there was just the two of us, something happened. And one of the nights, after a show, Mark said to me, what happened to that bit when you come out as Antipholus?
That whole speech.
That speech that you do to the audience that clarifies what's just happened. What happened to that? And I went, oh, I didn't do it, did I? He went, no. And I went, oh. And he went, I'll just put it back in tomorrow. And I went, yeah. And in that moment, it was like, it's okay. Okay. You didn't kill the show. It didn't die on its feet.
No.
You didn't mean to do it. For whatever reason it happened, but it absolutely changed me as a performer, I think.
Because at the end of the day, it's a live performance. And if there's good actors involved, even if something doesn't go quite as per rehearsed, that's okay, because the actors are still in character. It's still moving on. It's still doing its stuff.
Well, that's right.
And the audience. No, we want true performers. It's okay,
Yeah. No, definitely. And I always say as well, working with you has changed my attitude as an actor, and your positivity about just the life in general, really. It's you know, we've, as well as performing together, we've grown as friends, and you know, I've learned a lot about life and about attitudes to life and about living in the moment and enjoying you know, putting things in perspective a lot more, and I definitely know that's come from you and your kind of energy and your love of, you know, the important things in this world, which
making me blush.
but I think a lot of people are sort of recognizing those things now during this lockdown, and actually it's something that you already knew, you'd worked on, you'd developed yourself, and you know, reflected on your own life to learn these important things, and it's certainly changed my attitude. So apart from having a wonderful time acting with you, thank you for that as well.
Well, I've learned quite a bit from you, partly about not swearing inappropriately.
You have some self-control.
Long into something without thinking about it and all that. Be a bit more sensible. So I think it's a two-way street.
But it wasn't, the Comedy of Errors wasn't the end for our productions. It was the sort of start then of new writing, wasn't it? What we moved into then.
Because we wanted to do something similar again, didn't we? With lots of funny characters and everything. And we didn't know of any other play. So we decided to write something. And I came up with the basics, but then you added bits to it. So we worked together on it, really.
Yeah.
And that was Last Tram from Stargate, wasn't it? Was it? Was that the next one?
Don't know. I think so, maybe. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of based a bit on my knowledge of Blackpool in the 1960s. It was about a tram conductress.
Yeah.
Which I had been very, very briefly in the 1960s. But she wanted to be a writer, not an actor. I've made it slightly different.
Yeah.
And it was a comedy thing with lots of different funny characters. So again, we played lots of different characters, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we managed to get quite a lot of sort of multimedia.
Yeah, we had video thing, didn't we?
Was it in that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had like video footage projected and all sorts. Because what we did do is we didn't have a director. Sort of, we kind of took that on ourselves.
We couldn't get the funding for Mark again, could we? No.
But we managed to get some bookings through Rural Touring. I think it was for that, or Spot On Lancashire, or we also did stuff for Blackpool Library and stuff, didn't we? So their services and their word pool, the literature festival, because we ended up doing it on a tram, didn't we? Bits of it.
We did some on the promenade, some on the pier, and some on the tram.
That's right. Yeah, that was brilliant.
In the show, we were on a tram, not at the time, but we were on a real tram.
So I think we took the show first, and then we did that. But so we took it Rural Touring, and we actually hired one of the technicians from the Brindley, Paul, I think, for most of it. I think another one, Jonathan, came with us on another time. Maybe, was it? Can't remember. But Paul did most of the stuff with us, and so we had projection and light, so we could afford to have the kind of slightly higher production values than perhaps we might have done if we hadn't had the payments from the bookings. So that was really good, and we had a nice relationship with the technicians, didn't we? They were great and very supportive. So Last Track, and one of my favourite moments ever on stage with you. Wow, it's just the best. So we had the cutout, didn't we? I think, have you borrowed it from Sue and Tom, that from our museum friends from and it was like a cutout like you would have on the pier. Like I was the main character's dad for a minute. Yeah. So we had our heads through that, didn't we?
My head stuck through it.
Yeah, that's right.
So we had our heads.
I think we had both our heads through there, and we were playing the parents or something of the girl, and she'd left a letter.
Yeah, that's right. Saying
that she'd left, she'd run off or whatever. So I think I had hold of the letter, and I dropped it by mistake. I'm painting myself really badly as a performer here. Forgetting
you're brilliant.
So I had it, dropped it, couldn't get it because obviously we were behind this cardboard thing, and you had to read it out, didn't you? You were supposed to read it out, and this bloody
Yeah.
letter dropped to the floor.
Dropped it, so you couldn't pass it to me, could you?
No, no.
So something had to happen. So you tell what happened. How do you read this thing that's now on the floor? So you have to read to get to the next bit because Louise has dropped it.
You're saying something. You're saying something like, "Oh, right. She's left us a note. Let's read it." It sails to the floor, and you went, "It's all right. I'll use my telescopic eyes." It's the best. It's the best ad-lib line ever. And I think I might have laughed also at that moment. I think I might have laughed. So forgetting scenes, dropping props and corpsing on stage. I'm doing good so far.
That was a good bit of ad-libbing though from me. It was nobody knew that wasn't in the script.
But they love it. Audiences, especially like that, for shows like that, which are community audiences, you go to their community centre or their village hall, they give you food, they take you to the house, which is like, oh my word.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Met some lovely places, met some lovely people. And you go to they give you food, they show you the village hall, you perform for them, and they're right there. They're like, it's as it should be, as the storytelling kind of element of it which is what we like. And rural touring is like that, or has been like that, and was like that for us. So they love moments like that because it's that raw. They've seen something rare and that is unique and doesn't exist anywhere else. And that's. I mean, it's not just for those audiences, but you get it more when you can see people and you can communicate with them and you can both enjoy that kind of unique moment. So I love things like that. I mean, I wouldn't put them in on purpose. I don't agree with in-jokes and laughing amongst the cast and all that. That's just amateur. I can't be doing
deliberately messing it up.
Yeah, no, that I'm not interested in that. Or cocking things up for each other. No, not funny. But when something really funny happens, I absolutely love it, and you do live for those moments, really. So that was one of my favourite moments ever, and I'll never forget it. So we did Last Tram, and then what did we do?
I think we've missed out that we went on tour. Oh, but that was the previous plays, I think.
Yeah, we went
on tour to Keswick Theatre and Oldham Theatre, and
so we went
all sorts of places with things.
Theatre by the
touring,
Lake,
didn't we?
and Oldham, Oldham Comedy of Errors, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we did that 2 nights, wasn't it, at Theatre by the Lake in Keswick, and we drove there back and 2, didn't we?
Yeah.
In 2 cars.
We didn't have enough money for a van, so we had everything in 2 cars. Yeah.
2 cars. I think one of us. Well, we did. Did we have a technician? No, I don't think, because we used a technician from there, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, we used their technician.
So we didn't have to take a technician.
I remember.
Yeah. Oh, lovely technicians we met. And at the International Women's Festival, do you remember one of the technicians was from Widnes?
That's right.
Yeah, the lad. Oh, I can't remember his name, but yeah, it was amazing. I see, all roads. So we did a bit of touring of that with Comedy Events. We did a bit of touring with Last Tram, and then I think we did some things in between, like a bit of films. We did an All the World's a Stage film that was like working with community groups in Halton to celebrate kind of quotes that had come from Shakespeare that we use in everyday language. So that was another arts development team project, and probably loads of other stuff. But then we did another piece that you wrote or started writing, Travels with My Boggart, didn't we?
Yes, because I just had this mad idea. Well, let's marry Comedy of Errors with Last Tram from Stargate in a way.
We know there's an audience for it.
Yeah, that's right. Because we've got a lot of people in Lancashire who were keen on us now, and so that was again based on an aspect of my own life. It was based on when I lived just outside Burnley, in the middle of the hills, in the middle of nowhere, really. And it was called Travels with My Boggart. That's it. Yeah. So I knew a boggart was this mythical creature that lived roundabout in these wild places, like I'd lived in near Todmorden in Lancashire. But I also knew a bit about the Channel Islands, because I've been visiting the Channel Islands on holiday, Sark in particular, and Guernsey, quite a lot. So, and I like stories of the World War II. So it was placed in World War II about a refugee from Guernsey who kind of speaks sort of Channel Island French, which is a kind of weird, mixed up sort of language. And she comes to live in this farmhouse in the middle of Yorkshire, Lancashire, near Todmorden, which was based on the place I'd lived when I was about 19, 20. And then she meets a boggart, doesn't she? And they go on travels all over the place. And basically, they managed to bring to the end World War II, more or less. Do they? I don't know. They do, because they get to meet the devil who's in charge of World War II and put an end to him, as I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind Winston Churchill or anybody like that. My boggart and Celine, played by yourself, from the Channel Islands, they put paid to Hitler. Never mind.
Oh yeah. No, and that was a great show. And again, it was kind of basic costume, changing wigs, changing hats, kind of enjoying the fun that comes from only having 2 performers.
Yeah.
And then having to change character quickly, and very little set, maybe a chair or something. I can't even remember what the set was. It was very basic, wasn't it? But that was lovely, because it is about the story. It's about sharing the story. It's about having the fun, playing, playing with the characters. Kind of, I think for both of us, we very much touched on who we were as children. I mean, I don't mean that in a kind of, we researched it kind of way. I just mean we're very in touch with who. I don't think we've let go of who we were as children, and I don't think you should let go of who you are as a child. Or we've certainly refound it through playing, through theatre, and the voices and I've used bits of that in auditions and got jobs based on that. I got the Ladybird in James and the Giant Peach, and I did a speech from that, and it's that thing of being able to show your versatility, to swap between your characters, the comedy, the fun, but also telling the story as well at the same time. So it's absolutely perfect style, I think. I absolutely love it, and I love watching other people do that sort of style as well.
Yeah, it was a nice play, that, even though it was a good play.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed doing it. I wish we'd done more of that.
Yeah. I think we did that. We did that with rural touring, I think, didn't we, in Lancashire, and then and we did it at the Brindley, I think. Did we?
Yeah,
we must have done.
It was a family play, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yes, definitely a family. Because I think at the time there was a lot more family theatre being developed. Whereas if you look at, I know it's not on this year, but Edinburgh Fringe now is so family orientated in terms of the shows that do well up there. Yeah.
Really?
That God, yeah, I'd definitely, if you're going to go up there, do a family show, do it in the daytime. And
perhaps we should do Boggart again.
Yeah, maybe we should when it comes back again. No, I mean, it was definitely a great show. Simple and enjoyable, and great strong characters, and a good story, and something that people could identify with.
Yeah.
But we didn't, as you say, didn't do that much of it. We perhaps did about 6 or 7. I don't know, maybe not even that much.
Yeah. I can't remember now how much we did of it.
No.
My favourite moment in that is when we get on a tram in Burnley, and people just don't know who this boggart is, getting on their tram in Burnley in 1943 or something. That was fun. Then we went to Blackpool, didn't we? And we went in the ghost train. The characters went in the ghost train. That's where they met the devil.
That's right.
They were orchestrating this whole war. Yes.
And ghosts in Townley Hall.
And Townley Hall. The ghost in Townley Hall,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's absolutely great. Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, there's so much in that show.
Yeah.
Oh, get it published, Jackie.
Yeah, I don't know where the script is. I hope you've got a copy.
Yeah, I think so, probably. So we'll have sound effects and all sorts. So
yeah, I don't know where all my scripts are.
That's true.
Be done again or published.
Maybe you should release. Maybe you should publish Last Tram to Stargate and Travels with My Boggart.
Oh God, well, I'll have to start searching. I don't know whether I've got the scripts. You search as well.
Yeah.
Surely between the two of us, we should find the scripts.
Yeah, get it out there. Let it be seen. Fantastic. But also, I had one. I'm just terrible. Do myself down all the time here, but it's funny. A moment in the Last Tram to Stargate as well that was hilarious. Remember when I was doing the deck chair.
You were the deck chairman from Newcastle, weren't you? Yes.
Why would you choose to be a deck chairman in Blackpool from Newcastle? Why did I make that choice? It's a ridiculous choice to make, which seemed good at the time. But trying to do a comedy routine that you were kind of basically improvising and getting wrapped up in a deck chair in the middle.
Oh, you were very good. It was brilliant, was that?
Trying to put a deck chair up whilst trying to do a whole speech in Newcastle, and it was like it ended up like I was a very well-travelled deck chair seller.
But it was a lovely piece of physical comedy. I'm just trying to think who it reminds me of. A great comedian. It was a lovely piece of physical comedy. You manhandling this deck chair, or the deck chair manhandling you. I'm not
like it.
The fact that your accent went all around the world was kind of part of the fun, really.
I think so, yeah. Write it in, keep that in. This accent must not be good.
It would ruin it. Put yourself down, and you were brilliant in all the parts.
Very funny, and very, very enjoyable. But really, that Travels in My Boggart was, apart from a little, I'll say little, it wasn't little, but apart from a kind of piece of Shakespeare that we did later on, that was really the last sort of thing of us doing stuff as a two-hander, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we'd done what we set out to do, hadn't we?
Yeah.
I got an agent.
Yeah.
I did
theatre.
Yeah, you got some theatre jobs, didn't you? So you did like Hull Truck and stuff, didn't you?
That's right. I got a job at Hull Truck from having done theatre. Yeah, because I talked to John Gobler at the interview about the fact you and I had written this show and done these shows ourselves, and so I got more theatre work, which is what I wanted, and you got your agent, so we both got what we wanted from
it. Yeah, and we had a great time doing it, and it's absolutely true that to go into for people who are thinking about acting or whatever, interested, to go into an audition, and when they ask you, particularly in theatre, you don't get a lot of time in telly, but sometimes in telly, what you've been doing and what you've worked on, and to be able to, without thinking, start talking about a two-hander of Comedy of Errors or a two-hander of Travels in My Boggart, and then enthuse about it, actually, I think has done us the world of good. You need to have those stories. I'm not saying everybody can create their own work. I absolutely understand that it's not for everybody. But if you've got that real experience and that real evidence of you working and being passionate about it, I think it makes auditions easier for a start, because you're not like frozen and like terrified to say the wrong thing. You've got something exciting to talk about, and I think that helped both of us really.
Yeah, I think it has. It was great experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then, as well as the theatre, you started getting quite a lot of telly, didn't you? And not that you hadn't had it before, you had, but
but I got Jane Eyre, didn't I?
Jane Eyre,
that was in the period during the hands, and I got a few scenes in Jane Eyre with Toby Stevens and Ruth Wilson.
Yeah,
in her first job.
Amazing.
Jane Eyre. That was great. Oh, and then got loads of other stuff. I can't remember what it was now. Oh, Emmerdale. I had quite a long stint on Emmerdale.
Yeah.
I mean, I later on did some smaller stints, but I did start getting TV work more.
And then,
I mean, eventually. Go on.
I was going to say more recently, you did Home Fires, didn't you? Which was quite a big piece of work.
It was a lovely thing. And I had a huge part, which in the end got cut down to about 2 small bits and 2 small scenes. But I still had a lovely time filming it. Met some lovely people. I mean, lovely actors,
amazing cast
on that. And it was just good fun. And
I don't know, was that after we'd done Winter's Tale? I think it was it?
Yeah, I think it might have been, Yeah, because we did the Winter's Tale together, which was really your baby, so to speak, and you were very keen to do it and have the vision for it, definitely.
Yeah.
And you roped me into it, but it was also my favourite Shakespeare play too. So I was very willing, and you cast me as Paulina, which really all I could play at my age, so to speak, in the play. But in any case, and I thought Paulina was just a bit of a sort of boring sort of character. My God, she was a brilliant character.
Yeah.
But I didn't discover her till I actually played her.
Yeah.
Even though I'd seen it being played before. Paulina, yeah.
No, it was
and then
perfect.
You got some lovely actors in it as well, didn't you? And community people worked in it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you directed it.
Yeah.
Brilliantly. I played Hermione brilliantly. A woman of many parts. Don't put yourself down about this one.
No, I won't say anything. No, I didn't. I don't think I did anything wild in this one. I don't think I did everything I should have done. But it was a great, again, funded via the Arts Council, via the arts development team. We didn't apply directly, but they'd had some money to develop projects, and this was particularly, it wasn't just for our own personal development. This was coming back and giving opportunities to emerging actors, people who were in training or about to start training, people who were struggling as actors, people who were just stepping out, you know, people who were in youth theatre, people who just wanted to try. And we had about 50, I think it was 50 sort of community members in it. We had a band. I was already at the studio by this point, so it was partly a studio production as well. So we had 2 bands from the studio, Sound Minds and Late Night Television, and they we did scenes of it both in the 90s, the 60s and the 90s. I think it was set, wasn't it? So we set it in like as if the 2 kings were.
70s, I would have thought, but maybe it was
again,
late
70s. I can't remember. Was it
early 70s?
Yeah, 70s and 90s. So because it was something like 19 years between, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
or
right.
Something like that.
It's in 2 halves, so anybody who doesn't know, and there is a 19-year interval, so to speak, in the middle.
Yeah.
And in a slightly different situation. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So we had the 2 kings as leaders of opposing, kind of warring bands, really. So they were like, and the country names, the kings' names, like Bohemia and Sicilia, they were the names of the bands, weren't they?
That's right.
Yeah. And we had some great actors. So we went through being on the other side of things, really, didn't we? Auditioning people. That was interesting.
Yeah. We'd never done that before, had we? Auditioned people. I mean, we had 5, including ourselves, completely professional actors. And then the others were emerging actors or struggling actors or whatever. And then there was the community, wasn't there? So we had to interview the 3 other full-time actors. Yeah. And then we had to interview some of the emerging ones as well.
Yeah.
And so we'd never, ever, as you say, done it from that side of the casting desk, actually looking through reams and reams of spotlight pictures and CVs, and then getting people in and asking them to do stuff. It was fascinating, because I think you really find out yourself how to carry on in a casting when you've been that side of the desk. Amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we saw some obviously names. We'll stay out of it. But the cast we ended up with, Matt, Zach, and Callum, were fantastic, and we're still in touch with them now and then. We still go and watch Matt, don't we, all the time?
Yeah, Matt Ganley, lovely actor.
We go and watch Matt and stuff, and I've worked with Callum since, because I'd worked with him before, and we've seen Zach and stuff. So and we went to see Zach in a production in Manchester as well. So it's really good actors that we ended up with, but some strange behaviour of other actors, and they'd come in and they wouldn't be prepared, they wouldn't have learned the speech, or they wouldn't.
These people who thought they were going to make it in the business.
Oh,
you know.
and they just behave so strangely and giving all sorts of weird excuses. It was just the strangest thing. And but what really surprised me is when we're going through Spotlight, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's like a catalogue really of actors, and you pay what is about £150, something like that, in it to be in it a year, and your photographs in it and little bits of information about you, and all casting directors look at that and what have you, all industry. And so we'd signed up to, we had to pay to sign up to be able to cast through Spotlight, because it's the place to cast through. And you thought as an actor that we'd be very sensitive, because we know what it's like, and we'll make sure that we give everybody a fair whack. Well, when these pictures are coming through, you're going, nah. Just, I couldn't believe how kind of quickly I changed into just going, no, that's not right.
Just became a ruthless beast.
Just through seeing a photograph. So it's amazing, you know, and that is what it's about. So if anybody out there is feeling disheartened about casting, well, not that it's happening at the moment, but you know, in terms of it, then it is on. Half the time it is on your photograph. Half the time it is on.
I mean, at first,
you write about yourself.
Guilty, didn't we, from just whizzing through? But we were only guilty for about 5 minutes, I think. Oh, yeah. You know. I mean, you just have to go by what impressions you can get, don't you? And then get people in. So
that's it. And then it's about giving them a fair whack when they get in the room, really. And we saw quite a lot of people. So, you know, I don't think we were too. But it is amazing how your brain just thinks they know what that character looks like. And if you don't see it, you just go, no, it's not you.
But I enjoyed those casting sessions we gave to people. It was just such a different experience.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. No, fascinating. I mean, I wouldn't say I'd want to be on that side of things.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to be on it full time.
No, awful. But no, it was an interesting taste, and you know, quite open about how we did it, and how it does make you think differently. But we did end up with a brilliant cast and lovely community members. We rehearsed in the castle pub, didn't we, upstairs?
We did, yeah.
Which was great. That was really good. You know, really. I did.
And performed in the main theatre at the Brindley in the end.
Yeah, on the main stage proper. Yeah. We had video and all sorts, and it was all community stuff, wasn't it? It was it was great. All Hazelhurst community artists, they made some of the props and the pregnancy bump for Hermione, and one of the John Hyland's art class, they made the backdrops. I've still got them at the studio. We hang them up at the studio every now and then. Yeah, there's sort of Stone Roses based ones. Yeah, John Squire art ones. Yeah, it was that was great, that, and it was good to do, and it was great to have you as Paulina, because you were absolutely right for it. And it was something, definitely. Definitely wanted to do that show because I'd done it at drama school. I'd been in it, and it was all right. Wasn't my favourite experience, but I had quite a nice-ish role in it. I had one role I didn't like and one I did, but that's casting. And so I really wanted to revisit it again because it was one of my favourites. And then I attempted to do it at Warrington Youth Theatre when I used to work there, and it sort of proved a little bit, a bit too much at the time. So we sort of jibbed it and just did extracts from it. And so it was like an unfinished business, really. So, I was so glad to be able to do it and sort of... But
you were lovely as Hermione. You were lovely. You really were.
Yeah, thank you.
You were a lovely Hermione, and I'm glad we had Matt Gavin playing Leontes, because he worked together brilliantly.
No, it was really good.
A scene or two with him, and liked working with him too.
Oh yeah, great, absolutely great, really good experience, and good to do it in my home borough with people from the community. Hopefully inspiring them to go off and perform, and we even had one of them, she's a lovely girl who I still see, singing in a cage. The opportunities. Take them while you can. So that was great. And obviously since then, that's the last time we performed together, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, I think it must be.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, excuse me. And that must have been is it about 6 years ago?
7. It was
7 years
2013,
ago.
I think. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Coming
you
up for
never
7.
get another chance to perform together. You never know.
Yeah. I'm cooking something up now. Right.
Yeah.
I usually take 7 years in between every production.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, so we're just ready now to do something else.
Yeah.
I have to come up with a two-hander that's got an old grizzly old woman in it, you know,
For me.
and a nice lady.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is,
what years? Nice young lady in it, but or maybe we can have lots of different characters again.
Yeah, I think that's something that suits us. Our enjoyment of it, anyway.
Yeah.
So, what about for yourself? What do you see going forward, or what have you done kind of more recently? What's been the most sort of recent piece of work that people might have seen you in?
Well, I've done a little bit more telly. I mean, the Home Fires was the big one, even though I got cut out of a lot of it. But I had a lot of work and a lot of pay.
Good.
Quite amazing, really. And then I finished up in just 2 small scenes anyway. And then they cut the whole thing anyway, the whole series, didn't they?
Yeah.
Before they finished making it. Yeah. ITV suddenly ran short of money. So I don't know what, but that was tough. Anyway, and then after that, what have I done? Some more Emmerdale, a couple more characters in Emmerdale.
And Corrie as well.
In Coronation Street. Yeah. That's it, I think, really. I think that's all since then. Unless there's something I've forgotten. Have I done more theatre? No, I don't think so.
Well, you did Chimako, but that was.
Oh, Chimako! Oh, flaming heck, I've forgotten that.
That's a good few years ago. At home in Manchester.
In translation from Spanish, a play by a Cuban writer about Cuba, but kind of weirdly done in the way that it presented as if Havana was Manchester. It was like Manchester was Havana. It was kind of odd, but it worked, you know.
Yeah.
So I was a street lady, a bag lady, you know, and it was really showing the political situation in Cuba and how it's both good and bad, you know.
Yeah.
But also the people, the lovely people who really have to struggle. But at the same time, it's the regime that they welcomed in because they had such a horrible one before communism, you know, and they're struggling through with it as best they can. And there were lovely characters, most of them living on the streets. Well, not most of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
All the action went on the streets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I played this bag lady. And I loved doing that. That was at Home Theatre.
Yeah.
The new theatre in the Home Arts Complex. Yeah.
No, it's great that. And again, you've worked with some fantastic actors in that. You've worked with a lot of fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic actors out there who are unknown, obviously, but there are a lot of well-known actors that you've worked with. So just in terms of perhaps looking back, which is something we don't really do, we always move forward, don't we? But in terms of being reflective, like a lot of people are now, what's a kind of highlight of your career, would you say, someone were to ask?
Well, I'm probably going to say one piece of television which I forgot to mention, which is Blackpool. I don't know if anybody remembers this. And it was a series with music and dance, which I don't really do, music and dance, but I started it. Written by Peter Bowker, who writes an awful lot for telly and is a marvellous writer. And it had David Morrissey in the lead. It was all set in Blackpool because it was called Blackpool. And David Morrissey was this casino owner who was a bit kind of part Elvis, you know.
Yeah.
And I was the woman who, was she called Ruth? Can't remember. I think she was called Ruth.
Yeah.
Who worked on the tills in his casino. And I had a boyfriend called Deaf Barry. who was played by my dear friend Jim Whelan, who was also in Home Fires with me, playing my husband again. Dear Jim. And that was a lovely experience, because again, lovely actors, lovely work, set in my hometown. And David Morrissey was so lovely to work with.
Oh, amazing, yeah.
Because he was so sweet and kind and didn't have any edge to him or snobbiness or anything, just a lovely person to work with. And of course, he's a great actor too. And all the others were in that series. That's the highlight of my career, getting that job. Yeah.
Wasn't David Tennant in that as well?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I had a scene with David Tennant, yeah. Because my son was a bit overwhelmed a few years ago. Well, fairly recently, because he never watches me on telly. He goes, oh, I can't watch. And then I get something about having had a scene with David Tennant in Blackpool. And he said, you had a scene with Doctor Who? I was really amazed.
Yeah.
I thought it was wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, yeah. I mean, it is. People are amazed by it.
As well was in that. He was
Steve Pemberton, amazing. Yeah. So it is on the job. It's just normal, isn't it? But you do kind of. There are moments when you kind of go, oh wow, who you're working with. It can be thrilling and exciting.
Yeah, but also it's nice if it's nice people you're working with. I mean, you've been doing quite a bit on Emmerdale, haven't you, of late?
Yeah, well, last year, I did a bit of 10 episodes of Emmerdale, so that was a bit out of the blue and nice. And I've done bits of telly, but not as much as that. And I was amazed at how much I enjoyed it. I loved it. Yeah. It was very addictive. I could have you can't wait for another script to come, and I love it. Absolutely obsessed.
I'm the same. I like telly very much, or screen work anyway. Yeah. I love it. And I love the way of working and everything. I mean, considering I was so eager to do more theatre before you and I started doing it seems odd now, because I just love screen work so much, and I'd love some more. And I haven't had any for about, a couple of years. So if anybody's listening to this, from any television companies, with any I'm here and I'm available for screen work. As long as it doesn't involve me doing a lot of running.
Or dancing or singing, you're not keen on that.
Yeah.
One thing we haven't mentioned that you did several times throughout the kind of latter part of your career is a one-woman show about Margaret Rutherford.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And some people might have seen you in that, because you did that in Halton, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done it all around the country, really, pretty much. Because I did it for down at Southwold, when Jill Freud, Clement Freud's wife, was running the theatre, the festival theatre there now. I think it's somebody else now. And she got me on to do Margaret Rutherford, and then I've done it all around the north and did it in London, I think. Did I do it in London? I can't remember. But I've done it everywhere. Everywhere. No, I got talking with a friend, so I went away and read a lot of biographies by her, and an autobiography, and some biographies. And I just immersed myself in her and watched the screen, and then wrote this piece. And what I did is I just heard her voice, having read all these books, particularly, and seen her on screen, but particularly reading the autobiography. I just immersed myself in her, and she came through in this one-woman script. And then a bit later, you sort of redirected it for me, because it had been about for a while, but you really put the polish to the edges for it for me. And then I told it a bit more, and you were very helpful, coming as my helper on the tour, even though I did nearly kill you on a couple of occasions by saying, would you mind carrying that up the stairs of Blackpool Library for me? And you came up with these lamps that we brought, and you were nearly dead from carrying these erection things, and then we didn't use them.
I know.
The electricity was off or something. And I sent you home with a bad back, and I felt guilty.
Oh, no. No. If it's a good story, it's worth it.
But yes, Margaret Rutherford. The only thing here goes. The only thing I can remember about her is in the story, there's a little bit about where she married Stringer, her husband, who was actually probably gay. But they didn't talk about things like that then. And they had their first wedding night, and they're in bed together, and neither of them really knew what to do. And he had been given a book by the vicar about married life. So she says to him, well, dear heart, let us just look at the diagrams in the book, and then we'll have a go, shall we? Oh, dear heart, you're fast asleep. And so our wonderful marriage began. There you go, a little extract for you.
Fantastic. Oh, fabulous. And
the only thing I can remember, I don't know where the script is for that either.
No, because we've talked about turning that into a film and stuff, haven't we? So
we have, and I'm still on for that.
Yeah,
I would like to turn that into a film. Yeah,
I think
your great expertise as director.
I think we should definitely capture it, though. I think it's, we've talked about the idea of it, and maybe where is it set and all this, but actually I think importantly we just need to capture you doing it. That's the important thing.
That would be lovely. It would be lovely, and you directing it, I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean, there are now not a lot of people who remember her, though she's a bit of a gay icon. A lot of gay guys particularly like her. And older people remember her.
Yeah, and if you watch Talking Pictures, which you should do, support an independent TV
if you
channel.
Watch the Miss
She's on that
Marshall
a lot.
Yeah, you know who it is. Yeah.
And Blythe Spirit was on the other day, and she's in that.
Oh, was
Madam
it?
Party,
yeah.
So
Oh God, I must try and find the script.
Yeah, that's it. That's your quest then. So we'll endeavour, once lockdown is lifted, or restrictions are for people who, have had to be shielded and stuff. When we're able to, whenever it be, whatever format it has to be, we will capture Margaret Rutherford and your script.
Yes. So you look for the script as well.
I'm sure.
Both look for it.
Yeah.
Because that's the only bit really that I can remember. I lay in bed the other night thinking, can I remember any of it? And it's just that bit about them in bed together on their first night. I don't think they ever consummated their marriage. But he adored her, as if she was his mother.
Oh, yeah.
They adored each other, really.
Really fascinating life.
It's such a lovely story. Yeah, such a lovely story. Yeah,
and lots of things in there that surprised me when I heard it. So it's really good, really good. It's not just seeing an actor; it's actually there's an amazing story about father
way.
No.
But she had a big secret.
Oh yeah, amazing.
Which a lot of people might know now. Yeah, because there's been different things about her, but she had a big secret which affected her mental health.
Oh yeah.
So that's an interesting part of it.
Amazing.
And the other part of it is that she's related to a couple of our famous politicians.
Yeah.
Tony Benn and his son Hilary Benn.
Yeah.
She was actually related. She was Tony Benn's cousin. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. No, definitely one to capture that, definitely. So we will.
And they adopted a very interesting daughter.
Yeah. Oh, there's loads in it. Loads.
And loads of interesting stuff in it, just whetting the appetites of the general public here.
Right, that's on then. So Theatre Festival 2021 at the studio will be Margaret Rutherford, top of the bill.
Oh, right, okay.
Might as well. Might as well plan it now.
We don't know what the shielding and lockdown things will be. I may have to stand a long way from the audience, but they'll still hear me.
They will. You'll be fine. Yes. Definitely. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Jackie. I think we've covered most things there. There's obviously so much more in your life, but people can watch, I think, your show reel and stuff on YouTube, and I think you've got a little website as well, haven't you?
Not on YouTube. It's up through my through my agent, my agent's website, Jane Hollywood. You go into there, you find me, and you click on video. Yeah, you get it there. But,
yeah, and that's always an interesting watch, just to see some of the stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's a lot of,
because you've done quite a bit of theatre as well since we stopped working together. Fallout as well, didn't you? And two other things.
Yeah, Fallout, and then early on this year did The Cat Sitter, which was great because it was by TV writer and directors, and worked with Paula Lane, who was in Coronation Street for about 6 years. So yeah, that's that. You know, I've had some interesting stuff, and did Day On, and did
one woman show, and
took
Day
it to
On
Edinburgh.
was brilliant, and you were brilliant in that, in 3 parts, playing 3 parts.
Oh yeah.
And then the one woman show you took to Edinburgh.
That's it.
Why are we getting to an end without mentioning all that?
Oh no, it's all right. You're all right.
You've done loads. I don't mean rubbish. I mean rubbish. You've left it out.
No problem. We can always do part 2. The stuff we forgot.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's loads of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. The secrets behind the stories. That's another thing.
Yeah. But no, you've been very successful in quite a few shows, particularly at Hope Mill in Manchester.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah,
and obviously there's a lot of theatres struggling at the moment and not knowing what's going to happen and whether they're going to survive. So, you know, without kind of places like Hope Mill, I wouldn't have had a lot of the opportunities that I've had. So, you know, if people don't know places like Hope Mill, please do look at them, and you can donate to them and stuff like that. And obviously we're trying to do more theatre at the studio, but you know, we're not an actual theatre, so it's sort of different circumstances. But places that are just purely theatres, and particularly theatres that don't have funding apart from the ticket yield, you know, the generated income they have, they're struggling right now. So if you can support somewhere, have a look at Hope Mill, and they're definitely someone to support. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Jackie. It's been great talking with you. I could just carry on and on and on. Listening to you and asking.
It's lovely to have a chat about all that.
Yeah. Not something we normally do, but yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I know. We don't normally have a long chat. No.
Yeah, not about this anyway. But,
yeah. Not about how wonderful we are.
Yeah, no. But thank you, and yeah, we appreciate you being part of the Keep the Drama on the Stage is what it's called, Theatre Festival.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, next year it can be revived, and I'll hope to take part. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jackie.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.